Welcome to the Rebel News Daily live stream. Today it airs every weekday at 12 p.m. Eastern Time, hosted by different hosts. Today we are joined by the lovely Alexa Lavoie in Montreal and Kat here. I'm Nat. Thank you all for tuning in. We're live on YouTube, Odyssey, Rumble, and Getter. And be sure to send your chats throughout the show, and we'll be happy to read them at the end. Maybe we'll read some in between. Who knows? But yeah, we're looking forward to it. How you doing, Alexa?
I'm good, and you?
Never better.
Never.
Like, literally never. Things are great in the world.
Yeah, everything's fine.
Everything's fine, you know?
I think we want to start off by addressing just following up with our boys, Lincoln and Lewis, who are in the Netherlands.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing going on there, though.
Yeah, nothing. It's
boring stuff as
just
usual.
Another blue-collar revolt that's making actual impact in the world, much like our truckers' convoy from this past winter. So yeah, Lewis Brackpool and Lincoln J are in the Netherlands right now, covering with boots on the ground, showing you guys the other side of the story, which is what we do best. You can follow all their coverage at farmerrebellion.com, and it would be great if you could chip in a few bucks just to offset the cost of their meals, their accommodations, and just support our independent journalism.
They're hungry.
They're really hungry. They're so skinny.
They're like young men.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Do we have any cool clips that we can play to show some of their footage, producer Olivia? Wonderful.
We'll get to that in a second.
We'll get to that.
Anything new with you, Alexa?
Recently in Montreal.
Yeah, you moved, right?
But, yeah, so I trade my wall with rock for a wall with wood.
Very organic and cool.
She's so organic, you guys. It's true. That's fun. Moving is the worst.
It is the worst,
It's the absolute worst. I'm about to move, so wish me luck.
Oh, really?
Luck.
I haven't found a place yet. Step one is to find the place. Step two is to cry.
Yes.
Yeah.
So Alexa, have you been following a lot of the coverage in the Netherlands? Do you have an update that you want to like what's your take on everything that's happening?
But my point of view is like they are imposing a reduction of 40% of emission of carbon and nitrogen, but all you can produce any farm produce if you're not doing emission. And that will impact not only Netherlands, but that will impact most of the country around, and as well as Canada, because Netherlands is like one of the biggest producer of farm produce. And so it's remember me, I would say like the Freedom Convoy, like everybody is like united for one cause. And whatever you are different in all you think or all you are, or your value is maybe not perfectly the same, but we are all there, and we unite our harm, and we are fighting for the oppression that is coming from the government. So I find that really beautiful to see, because we saw it during the Freedom Convoy, how peaceful it was. But like they attacked the farmer, and you know, the farmer, it's I don't think it's some people that you should like attack, because they are spending their life with dirty hand. That's a really hard job. They are doing that for the people, digging, doing some agriculture, taking care of cows and sheep, and this is all for us. Without them, we are nothing.
Yeah,
farmers feed cities.
Well, I was gonna say don't bite the hand that literally feeds you.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know why how the government thinks that there would be no reaction from farmers is just insanity to me. It's insane.
What do they think people are gonna eat?
Bugs.
Yeah, like seriously.
Like literally, they think we're gonna eat bugs.
Yeah.
Like that's actually, and I refuse, guys. I will starve. I would rather starve. Yeah. I think we have another clip here. Let's play that.
So we are on our way to Eerbeek, where we're going to be meeting some farmers and having a chat with them. And also we've been told that a conference is going to start at around 5 p.m. Amsterdam time, where the mainstream media are going to be talking to the farmers head on. And we're just going to turn up. They're aware of international reporters arriving into the Netherlands to cover this issue, because like we said, it's not a local issue, it's more of an international issue. And we are joined by reporter for the Post Millennial, Katie Davis Court. It's an absolute pleasure to have you with us today to be reporting and collaborating. So we can't wait to start. And yeah, we're going to have updates throughout the day. Head on over to farmerrebellion.com. You can chip in and help fund our trip and help us get the other side of the story to you guys. That's farmerrebellion.com. An update soon.
Nice.
Yeah. Those boys are working hard.
Yeah, it's just so important to have like citizen journalists on the ground, like they're in the action, I think. And you're so well versed in this, Alexa, because you were really in the thick of it during the truckers convoy.
Literally.
Yeah, like literally. Hopefully no one gets shot
really,
like you did.
Yeah, it's really sad. I really wanted to go in the Netherlands, but maybe next time.
Yeah. Hopefully there is no next time because we don't want another revolt.
Yeah.
But yeah. You should go.
Maybe
next
for
time.
something else.
Yeah, maybe some other tragedy that is going to happen.
Well, the scariest part about this is Justin Trudeau is talking about bringing the same thing to Canada. And at first it's going to be mandatory reduction of 30%. Sorry, not mandatory. Voluntary reduction of 30%. But farmers are like, okay, when that doesn't work, when most farmers refuse to do that, they're worried it will become mandatory. And so this is super important to lay the groundwork for what's going to happen here in Canada. And obviously, like we've mentioned, like these, like I hate to say this, but like the elites, they don't seem to care about the average working family. And
yeah, well, they are not going to be the ones eating bugs.
No,
you know,
no.
Lord knows.
It's what I was saying is they want them to reduce their emission of carbon. When they take their private jet and they probably like destroy most of the planet with their own carbon footprint than the farmer.
Yeah. Well, I forget Melanie Joy. What's her name? She's the Minister of Foreign Affairs, I think. Yeah. Excuse me. She is currently in Fuji.
Oh,
that sounds nice.
Fuji,
is it Fuji? Is that in Indonesia?
Fuji, it's it's a small island close to Indonesia.
Okay, yeah. So she's there for a G20 summit, but it's like with all the things that are going on in the world, and especially the fact that you're going to talk about carbon footprints and emissions and stuff, like you could have Skyped.
Yeah.
You could have Skyped in Melanie, but you know she's on a beach somewhere right now.
And she probably flew private. She didn't have to go through Pearson Airport.
No, she didn't have to go through that nightmare at the airport. Yeah. And we'll get to the airport situation in a bit, but
I don't understand. I've been to Fiji before, and it's a really small place, and having as much people.
I'll make sure it's Fiji.
I don't think it's really adequate. Like, I don't know. I don't think it's adequate to have like as much people there.
Yeah, right. I'm gonna look it up because it's somewhere in Indonesia. Oh, Bali. Sorry, it's not Fiji. It's Bali.
Oh, Bali.
Just as beautiful.
I've been to Bali.
Yeah, of course you have. Yeah, Bali is also beautiful and full of beaches. Am I right?
Yeah, sounds like a vacation that our government is just taking and they're calling it a meeting or whatever. That's great.
Like you can join by Skype like we're doing with Alexa right here. Yeah. Imagine we had to fly Alexa here private jet just to have this conversation.
We'll do that next time.
Yes,
Alexa.
we will.
Oh, yeah.
Perhaps we should maybe jump into one of our first stories here about one of our favorite global elitists, Bill Gates. Everyone loves Bill Gates.
Yay,
he is a beacon of health and wellness. So apparently, guys, he got approval to buy up to 2,100 acres of North Dakota farmland. What's he doing with that land, guys?
Yeah, it's
he's digging it a hole.
Yeah, like he's either like preparing for like, the apocalypse so that he can survive or something, or he's going to build a bunch of bug farms or something.
If I was an economist, I would have a better grasp on the situation, but I'm thinking it has something to do with controlling the supply of food.
Yeah, and I think these are potato farms.
And I know he already owns, I think, the majority of potato farms in the USA, and I think the majority of McDonald's French fries come from those farms. So if you buy McDonald's French fries in the States, you're basically paying Bill Gates.
Ooh.
But who isn't?
Or maybe vodka. No, we don't know. Vodka
true.
Oh, darn.
That's true. He does look like he drinks a lot.
Conjecture.
Yeah.
Conjecture. Remember what we talked about, Nat?
Yeah. It's just my opinion.
It's just super, it's super interesting that this is happening at the same time as the farmer rebellion in the Netherlands. And maybe I was reading a piece from Brian Lilly this morning saying that you're probably going to see Canadian tractors protesting very soon here in Canada, either A, to support the Netherlands, and B, to kind of get ahead of Trudeau's plan.
To prevent these net zero goals that they're
and you
trying
know
to
how it's going to be labeled by the good prime minister.
Oh, they'll be vilified.
They'll be racist,
of course,
and anti-science, even though they're literal like earth scientists.
Well, especially because in Canada, I mean, it's such a diverse country already, but farmers, that's a diverse industry. It's not just a bunch of white people. It's people from all over the world, all sorts of backgrounds, like coming together and feeding us. Like, it's insane. Much like our truckers.
Yes. Yeah. But it doesn't matter.
The farmer is not only in Netherlands, it's as well like in Germany, in Italy, and they are joining all together. And I think it's mostly European coalition that they are raising their voice, as we saw so far. But it's probably will start here soon if they are imposing the same regulation for the emission. And because at one point, these people have sacrificed all their lives to keep their farm up and survive. They are not rich people at all. Most of them, like they are just living good with the minimum, and they are doing that because they are passionate to be a farmer.
Yeah, and I think a lot of them, it's in their family.
Yeah,
definitely. Yeah, so they are just proud to have that, what they are. And it's always like a good emotion to be proud of what you are producing, the quality, what you are offering to people. And it's what mostly they are proud of. So they are not doing that for the money. They are doing that because it's all their life. It's all their passion. It's what they have for culture from their parents. And you're taking that away from them?
Yeah, and it's going to literally starve them out of business. Like there was some stats, and it's kind of convoluted. It's about how much money specifically farm families are going to lose. But there was this one stat that said a reduction for a farmer with 1,000, like it's an example, 1,000 acres of canola, 1,000 acres of wheat stands to have their profits reduced by approximately $38,000 to $40,000 a year. That's hugely significant.
That's huge.
That's so huge. And who cares though? They're only family starving. Like the politicians clearly don't care about that. And it's like, and so the ones that can make it are going to scrape by, and many will just go out of business and sell their land. And you know, this is again tinfoil hat, but who's going to buy that land? It's probably like large landholding companies, and they're going to put up condos and townhouses.
Well, and what happens when it's people like Bill Gates, these like globalist elitists who own all of our land, and they are in charge of production. Like, what are we going to do?
Yeah,
we're going to eat bugs. Like,
and even if they were saying that there are alternatives to the nitrous oxide or whatever they use. I guess it's not nitrous. Nitrous oxide. So there are. The government is saying, oh, there's these alternatives you can use, but they produce lower yields, and they use plastics in the soil to like delay the whatever. I don't know. I'm not a scientist.
Sounds
but the
healthy.
point is like they're going to be like little microscopic plastic particles in the soil, producing less food, and we're going to have more microplastics in our diets than we do now, which is also like a record high. And it's like,
and that will not have any detrimental impact on our health in the future at all.
Certainly not.
Yeah.
We're going to be great.
We're
going to look like
fine.
Barbie, all of us.
Can't wait. Alexa already does look like Barbie.
Yeah, she's gorgeous.
Yeah, you're perfect.
Is it time for an ad break?
I think we should jump to an ad break. But again, everyone, go follow Lewis and Lincoln J on Twitter, and head over to farmerrebellion.com and chip in a few bucks and support our boots on the ground.
Oh, this is a good ad.
Oh, this is a fun ad.
This is a good ad. You're going to love it.
You might hate it.
You might. like, we're smiling. No, we're not.
Well, that makes me want to go buy some merch.
Yeah. I'm wearing some merch right now.
I have
guys.
mine.
Oh,
I
yay!
have mine.
Yours is from the Rebel News main store. Yeah, that's cute. What does it say?
Yeah, but I have my misunderstood one though.
Oh, which one?
Yeah. This one.
Remain
terrified. Question nothing. Stay at home.
That sounds smart.
But
Yeah, it's a good message.
I have the gray shirt that you wear at the beginning. The gray
sweater.
sweater.
Cute. Well, thank you for your support.
That's a fan fave.
It is a fan fave. But actually, guys, right now there's a really good deal at the Rebel News store. If you use code SUMMER and you buy 2 unisex shirts, you get 1 for free. So use code SUMMER at checkout, buy 2 unisex shirts, and you get 1 for free. That is such a good deal, and I think it's all summer long, so be sure to take advantage of that. And buy some misunderstood merch.
Yeah.
It's super cute.
It's super cute. You're going to love it.
You're going to just love it.
And a shout out to Isabel, who edited that for us and filmed it.
Yeah,
She's so talented.
she puts up with so much of our crap.
She does.
Yes.
They all do.
Yes.
All of them.
All right. Speaking
Okay.
of crap, feds threaten to fine Canadian travelers for not using ArriveCan app.
Yeah.
Eey.
Yikes. Alexa, we were talking about this morning a little bit, but you actually went to the airport recently, right?
Yes, so I went to Montreal Trudeau Airport, and I just wanted to check if the situation of the management with the luggage and the delayed flight have been rectified. But no, yes, but no. We still heard in the news that it's still going. But what I saw in the ground, it was mostly like people had a good experience for the customer service and for their luggage as well. But when it's come to the ArriveCan app, it's where people get a little bit mad, upset, and some angry. People need to understand that ArriveCan app, it's mandatory to arrive in Canada, or you risk a healthy fine of $5,000 and a big interrogation from the border services. So
That's always fun.
yeah, but the app have been like created for like, it's a small app, okay? But a lot of people need to download it, not only Canadian, but as well tourists that want to come in Canada. So the app is not made for having like millions of people to download it. So recently the app have crashed down a couple of times. And what I heard so far from travelers, their flight have been delayed because the app have crashed. So the flight was not capable to fly. So they were stuck at the airport waiting that the application is restarted. So at one point, the guy was talking to me about the France flight. All Canadians went to the flight and all other tourists stay behind because of the ArriveCan app, because they were not allowed to jump on the flight because of that app. This is incredible. Since when, like, we are stopping people to not enter in our country just because of an electronic pass?
Yeah. What if you don't have room on your phone?
Like, what if you're an old person? This
Yeah.
is what I've been. This is like this. It goes back to the same thing about
It's bigoted.
using the health app, the vaccine now, the contact
it's
tracing
kinda
app.
ageist.
It's super ageist,
Yeah.
and the whole point of the whole thing boils back down to the beginning of the pandemic. This all revolves around the pandemic, which at the very beginning was to protect the vulnerable, which at the very beginning was elderly people who were most and are still the most susceptible to COVID. So in trying to protect them, we've created this new digital society that completely alienates them. It's terrifying and sad. Even honestly, my mom's not even elderly. I doubt she would be able to work this thing. She's like, teach me Twitter. And it's
No, it's so
yeah,
true.
how do you help someone like that? And she's not even old. Like,
Yo,
she's kind of old, but she's not that old. Like, think about actual old people. Like, they're like, well, I'm sorry, I have my print. Some people print their tickets out.
Yeah, like
they have their passport.
No, my husband's grandma just got a cell phone, y'all. like just.
And so what is she supposed to do? She's supposed to download the ArriveCan app?
Exactly. It's just ridiculous. And it's funny because Health Canada also laid all the blame and for all of the issues we're seeing in the airports on actual travelers.
Yeah, that's what
it's like. Hello,
that's what the Minister of Transport.
Right. Like it's like, of course there's a surge in travel. We've been trapped in Canada for 2 years. Like, of course people are taking a moment, because who knows if this moment is temporary, to be able to go on a trip. Like,
I see family that they haven't seen. Like, it's not all
Exactly.
going to Hawaiian vacation.
For sure. And it's like, don't you think the government and airports could have at least tried to be better prepared? This should not come as any sort of surprise.
Prepared.
I know.
Matt, you sound crazy.
I know. I'm such a crazy person.
The Canadian have forget one thing. The passport, the regular passport, the paper one.
Yeah.
This is your right to freely pass in your country without hindrance or delay. And it's not what is happening right now. They have taken away our right to pass freely in our country, and nobody did say nothing, and nobody seems caring about it. It's another right that is taken away from us.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I feel like the system before COVID, when we were arriving from international flights into Canada, it was fine. Like, there were no issues with it. So I don't get, like, if a system isn't broken, don't try to fix it. Like, it's just completely insane. And it said, the article said that the Conservatives are trying to call for this sort of return to pre-pandemic travel rules. So we'll see what happens, but it just seems like things just are continuing to become more and more inefficient within our government.
Yeah, but ArriveCan, it's all about the vaccination data. It's what they want, and as well, because if you scan it first time, it's linked already to your passport. So afterwards, you don't need to scan your ArriveCan app, but they will know if you are obligated to do a quarantine. So they will know that it's who to survey, like who to look at when they come back for their quarantine. So they will know where you live and where they can track you and where to call you if you're respecting or not your quarantine. It's all about that.
So it's an invasion of privacy, essentially.
Yeah. I mean, that's not new for them.
No.
But it's also ironic that in an effort to protect people from COVID, they're having people like sleep in the airport.
Yeah.
Like, there's hundreds of people, thousands of people stuck in the airport waiting for their flights, and they're sleeping on the ground. Their luggage is all like unattended, and it's like, okay, this is for our health.
Yeah.
Once again, I ask.
Nothing
what the
about
heck?
sleeping on the ground should be for your health.
And there should be like people coming through and moving on. But when you're stuck in there, like, COVID is an airborne virus, so like you're just breathing in more and more particles from other people.
People who have been all over the world, really.
Moved the table in my bed.
Yeah, no, it's just, it's all craziness. It's all craziness.
It's crazy.
You know what else is crazy, though, y'all? Rogers.
Oh yeah.
Rogers. Have y'all heard about Rogers? You want to take it
No,
away?
because I have no freaking.
She hasn't heard anything because she can't read the news on her phone.
Yeah.
But apparently there are outages across Ontario and Quebec. You're obviously not affected by this, Alexa, because you're on this call right now. But that's like a big deal.
Yeah.
This is a very huge deal. And my first question was like, are people going to be compensated for these outages? Like, you pay for your phone, you pay for your internet, and now you're not able to use it.
Yeah, I've been through this before. The last time there was an outage, and I did ask, and they're like, yeah, we can compensate you. It's about $3. Because it was only out for a couple hours. So they're like, based on the amount that you pay per minute or hour, they're like, yeah, it's like $2 or $3. And I was like, oh, that's
But like, we
embarrassing.
rely on our phones for literally everything. Like, what if you miss the most important call of your life because of an
Yeah,
outage like this?
And for me, I drive a long way alone in a car. Like,
yeah, what if your car breaks down?
yeah, like I'm stuck and I can't even call anyone to come help me. Like, obviously it's not just about me, but it's like all the people who are now without cell service.
It kind of
but in the same time, guys, before in the past, I had the Padget. I didn't have any phone. So I know you are able to live without your phone.
Not me.
Well, that's a good point.
I know. Yeah, I was thinking that. I was like, hey, I'm free.
But me, it's more like if you're not capable to live without your phone, this is a big issue, first of all.
I'm scared.
But the thing is, if Roger have this kind of problem, of course he should compensate to people who doesn't have a line. But in the same time, maybe people would turn and say, maybe I will quit that company to have another one. and
Yeah.
it's why they need to do something.
Yeah. And maybe you're right. Like, after my initial panic that I couldn't order Starbucks on my way into work this morning subsided, I was like, at least the government's not listening to me and tracking me right now. Like, I know that's kind of a tinfoil hat, but it's like, it was almost like sort of a relief in a way, because I was like, it's not like people are going to think I'm dead. Like, I will get to work. I will drive home. I know the way.
Mm-hmm. I think the scariest thing about it is like the fact that like most people don't have cash. So we're not able to make transactions, and it's like, wow. And the government has been hell bent on trying to push this like cashless society. So it's like, it just made me think. I was like, I should just always have cash on me. Like, we have to keep circulating cash into our economy, because what are people doing right now? They're stuck. They don't know what the hell to do.
Yeah, it's funny because on the one hand, they're trying, like you just said, they're trying to make this a cashless society, and then your ArriveCan app won't work now, and your digital passport, your vaccine passport, none of that's going to work, but. So that they're pushing us in that direction, but things like this, which are unforeseen by the government, kind of take the veil off, and maybe we should all live like Alexa used to, and just be like, you know what? Because it might get to the point, and I've talked about this before, where if they say you have to attach your bank account to your vaccination status, you have to have this digital ID. Oh, because like they do in China. Oh, you're not vaccinated. Oh, you said that thing on Twitter. Now you are denied for your mortgage. Now you can't get a bank loan. These are
it's a slippery slope.
It's a slippery slope, and these are potential things that are going to happen to us. So maybe instances like this are going to push us in the direction where it's like, you know what? Maybe I get a flip phone. Maybe I make good old-fashioned telephone calls, and I will survive, because we might need to anyways. It's scary, but...
Because don't forget that I was traveling 10 years without any line of phone or internet. It was all by myself.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That's why you look so good. Yeah. No stress. Yeah, it's a valid point, because there was initial terror for me, but then it's like, I'll be okay. And I made it, you guys. I'm here.
She's here. I look great.
I got on the highway.
And she got Starbucks too. So
I still got Starbucks. I went back with cash.
First world problems.
Yeah, these are my problems.
Exactly.
Yes. Is it time for another ad break?
Yeah, let's do another ad. Shall we?
Yeah, let's do an ad.
Do we have any ads?
Another one of ours. Just kidding.
Let's watch it again. No, first time wasn't embarrassing enough.
Oh my God.
We'll watch it in reverse this time. Oh,
Alexa hates it. That's good.
No.
It's fine. The fan will love it.
Yeah, one fan will love it.
Yeah.
My husband.
My mug? I know. It's pretty cool. So is this hoodie I got on, and you could have it on too if you check out our special website at rebelnewsstore.com. That's where you can see Freedom Focus hoodies that we have for you, beanies, cell phone cases, you name it, all while supporting our journalism, where we fight to bring you the other side of the story, as opposed to, being forced by the Trudeau government to fund leftist media out of your taxes. The truth is, without you and your generosity, there is no Rebel News. So again, if you like the reports that we bring you and that we also fight for freedoms in Canada, please consider doing some shopping, picking up some swag at rebelnewsstore.com. We appreciate your support.
Well, that was fun.
That was a good one.
Yeah, she's the best ads. But guys, don't use Drea 10. No offense to Drea. Use code SUMMER, because if you buy 2 unisex shirts, you get 1 free. That's such a good deal. No offense, Drea. Your code's very lovely as well. But people need a deal in this economy.
Yeah.
So.
Times is rough, you guys.
Times is tough. Tough times in Japan as well.
Oh, boy.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I saw the video of that. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, horrifying. So assassinated Japanese leader was apparently a close friend to Canada. So Japanese Prime Minister Shinzo Abe was assassinated on a street in Western Japan by a gunman who opened fire on him from behind as he delivered a campaign speech.
Yeah.
That's just so horrible.
It's shocking and horrible. Like, again, and Japan is one of those countries that has extremely strict gun laws, so, I'm not going to...
Criminals always obey the law, though.
Yeah, yes, of course, and that's what we know.
Yeah.
I don't really have much of a take on this other than the obvious. It's like, don't murder politicians or human beings that you might disagree with. It's awful and sad, and he was a cool guy.
Yeah, and it also just speaks to, like we were talking about, like, gun control laws. Like, they obviously don't control illegal criminals who do illegal activities with guns, huh?
Mm-hmm. Huh?
Yeah.
But when we look at that, Trudeau say I lost a really close friend. Japan is one of the countries of the G7, and Boris Johnson as well. So now we see like slowly all maybe the leader going away. But I don't like murdering someone is actually the worst thing to do in the world. But it just people are fed up, and they are created the fact that people are not capable to live in that world anymore. If you take the time to listen everybody, that will not have happened probably. Like taking the time to talk with your population, saying like what is going on, what is wrong, what people are not capable like to handle anymore. But I have the impression like just looking at the patience of the people. Have you seen like all the video of people are getting impatient when they come to customer service, asking questions? People get crazy now. It's insane. I never see as much people losing their temper in front of small thing. So if that happened, I'm not really surprised, I would say, but it's horrible. But I'm not sure that will happen again, because we're getting in really a dark time.
Yeah, that's a really good point. Like, I think to your point, Alexa, like in this expedited society that we live in, we expect everything immediately right away, and especially because of our phones, and because you can like for instance, again, not to talk about me and my Starbucks, but on my way when I couldn't get my order in, I was like, like my initial response was like blood rage murder. I was like, I can't order my iced coffee, and then it's like, that's crazy. That's just the world we live in has made us into these monsters that immediately expect everything to be sorted out. So when you're faced with an actual human being, you might lose your mind. And like, thank goodness I don't do that on humans. I just do it in the crazy prison of my own mind. But like, you're so right. I think that there's more anger and less patience than ever before.
I think too, because like the government has just really screwed us on a global scale, and people are fed up. Like the government, as you kind of mentioned, Alexa, like they've forgotten who they work for, and we're just doing whatever they ask of us. And I think people have just finally had it, and it's very scary because people are going to go to extreme measures, and that's just the last thing anyone wants. Like we don't want people getting assassinated.
No, and we're against it.
Yes,
I think that's
like against the murder of all. Yes,
yes, that's fair to say. Yes, it's really sad.
Exactly. But in the same time, like I would say, the same that I would say, like Trudeau should listen to his people. Every prime minister should listen to their people. But the society have created the. I don't know if you remember in the past, but the customer was always like the king. You have all the rights, and that was taken away from us. Now the customer have no right to do anything. They are not. The service is miserable because the employee are not. Are missing, so they are keeping like what they can, and so that frustrates the society, that frustrates the people, that we are always being naturally but served really fast, and now we just see like we are oppressed from everywhere, not only from the government but from our purchase.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, I recently went to Service Canada, and they actually have signs up there that say any like offensive behavior will not be tolerated. It's because people get so frustrated with these government employees who are extremely slow, and it's almost as if they're slow on purpose, but you can't do anything about it, and you have no rights, even though our taxpayers pay their wages a little too, they get paid well. So it's just like, of course people are frustrated. It's
but
so
you shouldn't
gross.
take that out on a human being.
Of course not.
Like, it's not the person behind, like, and I know that's not what you're implying, but it's not the person who's going slow's fault, really, because they have no incentive in a government
they have no
body.
incentive
You have
to work
zero
hard.
incentive to work hard because there's no accountability whatsoever.
And that needs to change. I think that's the biggest thing. Like,
Well,
but like the only solution I can see is to abort government. That's all.
Yeah.
Because anything government, it just slows everything down and it makes everything worse. And the bigger the government, the longer the lines, the more miserable the employees, and then the more miserable the country is, honestly. Like, let's just shrink government.
Yes.
God willing.
God
God
willing.
willing.
Peacefully.
Yeah.
With our words.
With our words,
And
yes.
and our democracy.
Yeah, be kind to people, guys,
Yeah.
even government employees.
Yes.
Okay?
That's
Oh,
the
yeah.
takeaway. Should we talk about our favorite subject.
Yes.
Well, gender mostly. We're going to talk about race and gender. But Nat and I love to talk about gender issues on our show.
We love Leah Thomas.
Yeah.
So if you love Leah Thomas too, go to watchmisunderstood.com and watch our show for free.
Plug. Okay. So here's a interesting story. Queen's University should apologize, create process to validate Indigenous identity. So when I read this at first, I was like, huh?
Yeah.
But it turns out that this is a way to stop people from falsifying their Indigenous status, which is like anyone who pretends to be a minority is gross. That is just so gross. And it's sad that like Queen's University now has to put in a whole system just to make sure that they can validate identities of Indigenous people. Like that's just so, it's pathetic that has to happen, but apparently it does because people are trying to get ahead in life by pretending to be minorities and Indigenous people. And it's like, guys, like the culture has created this world where
being a victim,
exactly,
or
like
being
to be a
oppressed.
minority and an oppressed minority is some
it's like
sort
brownie points.
Yeah,
almost,
exactly.
yeah.
And it's like, that is
Which
so pathetic.
It's very exploitative. It's gross.
so exploitative of people's culture, and it's disgusting. And there was that Canadian professor who got caught. What was her name? Carrie Bourassa. She got caught, and it was all over the U.S. news too. And she would wear like full like Aboriginal garb and stuff, and it turns out she had zero Aboriginal blood. It's so gross. I don't know. What do you think, Alexa?
But first of all, I think a lot of people have a little bit of blood of Indigenous.
Maybe.
Because when we colonize, a lot of people who came to colonize have had baby with Indigenous, and it's a good thing because you mix the genetic together, so the genetic gets stronger at the end of the day.
Look at her,
I'm
though.
biologist.
Like, yes. And that is true. A lot of Canadians do have some Aboriginal blood, but they're not all walking around in Aboriginal garb claiming the benefits of
like
being
it's
an
not
Aboriginal.
rooted in a lot of people's identity,
Yeah,
even if it's in
exactly.
their blood. Yeah.
But for me, I don't know what is the point to just claim, I'm Indigenous and look at me, I'm Indigenous. Okay, fine, like it's fine for you, but what that bring to me, absolutely nothing. So why like I can say, hello, I'm blonde. I'm blonde, everybody, look at me.
And what does it do for Indigenous communities? Like, it's not bringing them clean drinking water. It's just so self-promoting, and it's very self-centered. And I think, I mean, I'm glad, I kind of am glad that people are getting caught in this, hopefully this kind of, there's a shift culturally, because it's just, this can't continue.
Yeah.
No.
Well, I think it takes away from the actual struggles that Indigenous people go through, like Nat just mentioned, clean drinking water. Like, that is a basic fundamental right that people should have access to clean drinking water, and they're diminishing all those actual struggles where people are like, oh, I want to get
professor,
like Senator Elizabeth Warren.
Warren, yeah,
like getting into wherever Yale or wherever she went on an Indigenous scholarship. Like, you are taking away from actual Indigenous people when you do that.
And the Indigenous people were there before us, and I would say now they are in other land that they are not their land, but they are tolerated to occupy that land that it's come from probably government company as Hydro-Québec, you know, and they all live in one really small house. And they ask for more house. Like, I was watching a documentary the other day, and they ask for more house. The government provide them the material, put the material there for them to build their house. Some of them, the wood and all the material is still like on the ground because they don't know how to build a house. If you give me the material, I will look at the material and say, okay.
Yeah.
It's a nice plank of wood. Yeah.
Same. Yeah. I'd be like, do you have
and it's the
some
same time.
people?
Yeah, but it's the same thing with the water. Like, they keep like going to buy some plastic bottle of water because they don't have running water at their place. This is completely outrageous that in 2022, we have some village that doesn't have running tap water.
Yeah, and isn't that something that Trudeau was trying to, like, didn't he make a promise
Wasn't
about that?
in his first term?
Yeah, he was supposed to try to improve that,
No, but he's way more interested in
making it seem like he cares about Indigenous communities.
yeah.
I mean,
I
we all
know.
remember Reconciliation Day on September
Yeah.
30th in Tofino.
yeah.
We were all,
Yeah.
we all are privy to that wonderful photo.
It's way better to buy a lot of vaccine and wasting in the garbage.
that
Yeah.
are expiring now.
And to vilify, criminalize, and freeze the bank accounts of peaceful protesters,
yeah.
and like go on and the Emergencies Act, like all the money and time and energy that was dedicated to destroying the lives of truckers, like when you literally have young children who can't drink clean water, like
it's a bad take.
After
Trudeau.
making that one of his campaign promises in the very beginning, I think
I'm pretty sure he did, but
I'm
I
pretty
mean,
sure.
don't quote me on that
Yeah.
either. Anyway,
it's sad.
He's a bundle of joy.
Yeah, we love him.
Love
we
that
love
guy.
him. But
Yeah.
anyways, that's interesting. What else is going on?
So, days after Grammy Award-winning musician Macy Gray came out against transgender reassignment surgery, which she criticized on Piers Morgan Uncensored, the musician was attacked online by transgender activists and their woke allies. These activists are just so loving and kind to people who disagree with them.
beautiful souls.
They always handle things so respectfully and like adults.
I hadn't even heard of this. I didn't know what statement she made. All I saw was scrolling through Twitter that Macy Gray, the musician, had to apologize for a statement. And I was like, oh boy, what could it be? And all she said was, just because you go to change your parts doesn't make you a woman.
Yeah, I think we have the clip here. Can we play that? Love to hear.
Let's try her out.
Well, if I asked you what a woman is, what would you say?
I would say a human being with boobs. You have to start there.
Yeah, I mean, the dictionary is quite straightforward. It just says
And
a
a
human,
vagina.
adult, female,
Yeah.
right?
No, a lot of people. Yeah, see, that's a little getting confusing. The whole he, she, they. That's getting a
And I'm
little
not
rough.
sure why, really. It's a bit like this whole issue of transgenders in sport. It's like I support all trans rights to fairness and equality.
Me too.
But not where you have people born to obvious physical superior bodies.
Me too.
Transitioning and then thrashing the women at their sport.
I totally agree. And I will say this, and everybody's gonna hate me, but as a woman, just because you go change your parts doesn't make you a woman.
Right.
Sorry.
Yeah. Sorry.
You feel that?
I know that for a fact.
Yeah.
Like if you want me to call you a her, I will, because that's what you want. But that doesn't make you a woman just because I call you a her, and just because you got a surgery.
Because people do feel that there's biological sex and then there's gender identity, that you can
Right.
identify as whatever you like
You
in
can call
terms of
yourself
a
whatever you
gender,
want.
right?
Yeah,
That's the
totally.
freedom we live in. But
Absolutely.
actually you can't change the mechanics of biological sex. They are what they are.
Well, just like women go through just
Yes, because gender is not a performance.
Yeah, and also people get confused all the time. Gender is one thing. Like they just said, you can go by any gender you want. That's fine. I will respect your choice and call you whatever you want to be called. I'm not trying to be a dick. However, sex
No.
is biology.
Yeah, you can't change
gender and sex are
biology.
different things. And to say like woman is, I don't know, people will argue that woman is a statement of gender. Female is a statement of fact. It's male or female. This is biology. And as a biologist,
Dawn of time.
yeah, like you probably feel the same way.
Yeah, but I think the only exception I would say it's the hermaphrodite, like people
Like
who
intersex
are actually
people.
born
And there are
Yeah.
people like
with
that.
two sex.
But
Yeah.
that's not being
But-
transgender. That's
Yeah,
being
that's
intersex.
that, and I'm
yeah.
sure if we looked up the percentage of that, it's like
very minimal,
it's
I'm sure.
probably so minimal. I think I did once, and I forget the number, but it's like it's inconsequential, and those people deserve all the respect in the world, and they can choose how they want to live, etc. But the number of people who identify as transgender, as we know, has skyrocketed like 4,000% in the last like 7 years. So it's like those people are not intersex. Those people were not born with double sets of genitalia. It's just
Those people went down the wrong Tumblr.
yeah, they went on a Tumblr page and they got
Page, yeah.
confused. And to attack a woman like Macy Gray,
Yeah.
they are calling her a TERF, which is a trans exclusionary radical feminist, which, Nat and I have been called as well. It's a way to minimize women.
And erase women.
Yeah, and it's funny because one of the next stories we're going to talk about is I don't want to get ahead of myself, but in an effort to be more inclusive, they're going to exclude women by saying you can't be called a woman, you have to be called a chest feeder or a bleeder. Like
Birthing
these
person.
are disgusting ways to define a woman, to like, if you want to be inclusive, stop trying to exclude women from being called women.
Yeah, because being a woman is like a beautiful thing, and it should be celebrated. What women can do with their bodies, you know, reproductively, is a beautiful gift, and that should be celebrated by people. And it's being completely erased by like actual fringe minority of people.
Yeah.
Like, it's insane that we're bending a knee
And
to
she
the minority.
apologized.
Yeah, but she shouldn't have apologized,
No.
frankly, because she said nothing wrong. She said she would be respectful.
Yeah, she did.
So I'm
she
like-
said she respects them as humans and that they deserve all the rights any human deserves, and she'll call them whatever they want to be called. And that's exactly how I feel. And then they go and call her a TERF. And it's like, no, she's a friggin' scientist.
She's stating the facts.
She's not a scientist, she's a musician. But the point is that she's stating facts of science. She's saying A is not B. And they're like, A is B.
Yeah.
How dare you? And it's like, okay, like, it's not, just because it's determined that it's mean now, today, it's still truth tomorrow.
Yeah, and it's narcissistic to think otherwise.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But people need to understand that most of the time when people are transgender, it's because it's all when you're in the womb in your parent. It's depend on the effect outside, but the hormone that is transmitted to the baby will develop more the feminine part in your head or the masculine part. It's why like some people are more masculine than feminine, and afterwards it's not because you feel like completely like a man that you should not maybe question yourself, do I really want like to go until the end, especially when you're really young. But if you're doing it, everybody will respect your choice and will call you by what you want to be called.
Yeah, if you're an adult.
But don't like go and don't go and hurt someone because, and what she said, it's actually legit. She did nothing wrong on what she was saying, and especially she bring the respectful way to say, I will respect your choice, and it's what is a society. I'm going to respect you, but respect me as well.
Yeah, and they don't.
No, they
That's
don't.
that's what is so funny about it. They're so aggressive. These what are they called? Transgender activists and their woke allies, as they call it in the article. Like, you people are being so hateful. Like, is it you want us to be inclusive of your identity, but you can't be inclusive of my identity, which in my world, you are still your natural born sex. How come my views are not tolerated, but your view that you are a woman is? Like, it's
well, yeah,
we
especially
should respect each other's delusions. Even if you think I'm delusional, you should still respect my delusion as if I should respect your delusion.
Yeah.
Like, why can't we all just be like, sure, you think you're a woman, I think you're not. Like, let's just still go have lunch. What's the problem?
We can agree to disagree, for
Yeah.
sure. And it's funny because the same people, you know, are the people who told us to follow the science during the COVID-19 pandemic, yet they completely ignore the science when it comes to gender ideology. It's so hilarious, almost.
It's very difficult to follow because, you know, some people have a gender, but outside they don't wear any identification. So they wear man and woman in the same time. So they are not her, they are not him, but inside they are accepting that they are a man or a woman, but they wear both gender in the same time.
It's not even a new thing. Like, it's called being
I don't know.
androgynous. Like, you can wear, like, David Bowie, like, he was still a man.
Yeah.
He was still a man. You can wear makeup.
like
you
being
can
a
be
tomboy.
feminine. Exactly. Like, this is why it's so sexist, and it's homophobic too. Because if you want to be a gay guy who's effeminate, that is honestly being
You're
erased.
still a man.
You're still a man, and a lot of gay people will agree. Like, I knew a gay guy who was like, he said that what did he say? He was a biological essentialist, and that people were coming for him because of it. But he's like, back in the day, being gay was something to be proud of. But now it's like, well, are you sure you're not a woman? It's like, no, I'm sorry, I'm still a man just because I happen to like effeminate things that you call effeminate. Like, aren't we? I've said this a million times, but aren't we past living in a world where if you want to wear pink or you want to bake, you're a woman? Like, isn't that some 1930s nonsense? Like, I like sports, so I'm a man.
Yeah.
Like, that is so stupid. It's so
is.
small-minded.
But that is the society who say that you're a man, you should be strong, watch the sport.
Yeah.
Don't
Lumberjack.
cry.
Yeah,
You should
but I
don't
thought we were
cry.
pushing against that. But it's like we're bringing that ideology.
Well, and that's what we see
back.
so often with all of these sort of Marxist kind of like, you know, critical theorists. It's so progressive, these policies and these ideologies and ideas, that it's regressive. Like, we're literally going back in time. Like,
Yeah.
we're literally, like, women are about to be erased.
Yeah,
It's
this is a Star Trek episode.
This is it.
Shout out to David Menzies.
And, you know, there's a U.S. teachers union that's proposing to ban the word mother now in favor of birthing parent, because men can apparently have babies in 2022. Did you guys know that? I don't know any guys who can pop a baby out.
Again, like I'll say this till my face turns blue. You can be gender neutral. You can gender yourself however you want. But if you're pregnant and about to give birth, you are a female.
Yes,
you
you
are
are
of the
a female.
female sex, and that's okay. That's fine. You can be a female who identifies as whatever you want, but you're still a female. The only females can give birth.
Yeah,
It seems-
but probably they talk about transgender, that they are men, but they had a baby, but
Yeah.
they begin like not
that's
the
a
mother,
mess.
but the father.
Yeah.
The father, but I give birth.
If you give birth, you're a
whatever.
female.
Yeah.
It's like it's not hard.
And like we've said this before, but like most people don't use terms like chest feeding and birthing person. It's literally a small minority of people who are trying to erase gendered terms, and it's wrong because it will erase women in the end. Like, okay, only women can give birth. That's a privilege. That's a blessing. It's very cool that only women can do that. It's one of the few things women can do that men can't. So I
Yeah.
think that it should be celebrated, not erased. And it's just it really boils my blood.
Yeah, and in this article they mention how out of touch the teachers unions are because, like you just said, Nat, most people don't use that language. Most people are like, oh, she's pregnant. It's like, he's pregnant. Like,
Yeah.
most people don't talk like that. So for the teachers they're just so out of touch. And the scary part of it is like, oh, okay, whatever, they're out of touch. It's like, well, they're molding the minds of the youth, which is absolutely terrifying.
Yeah, it's scary.
And I'm sorry, women have their period.
Yeah.
That is actually make us suffer.
Yeah.
It sucks.
I'm sorry.
Yes.
If you don't suffer like that, you're not. You cannot like say
That's
like you're
a great
Amen.
point. That is a great point. And I nothing boils my blood. Well, there's lots of things that boil my blood. But one of the things Starbucks. But one of the things is Alexa just hit the nail on the head. It's
Yeah.
like, okay, so you want to identify as a woman, but you've never had a period.
Yeah.
You've
No
never been
fair.
You've never been punched in the boob.
Yeah.
By an
it's-
older
Ooh.
schoolmate. Ooh, when
Yeah.
you're developing. Ooh.
Yeah.
Like periods come for the rest of our lives until we go through menopause, which is also awful. Ask
Yeah.
your mom.
Yeah.
Awful stuff. It's like
Yeah, so being a woman sucks.
yeah,
No, just
no,
kidding.
But
Just
it's like
kidding.
you get all the joys. You get to do the hair. You get to have the privileges. You get a seat on the subway. Ooh, not so much anymore. But you don't have to actually get period cramps and feel like you want to murder everybody.
You don't have to deal with any of the actual like
hormonal
issues
acne
of being a woman. Yeah.
body hair.
You get all the perks and none of the like crap.
Isn't that fun? Isn't that cute?
Must be nice.
I have no respect.
Yeah.
And like I was thinking about that in terms of Leah Thomas, the trans swimmer from UPenn. So I remember we were having a conversation in the editor's room the other week about how in UFC and in tennis, women have mentioned, oh, like when they're doing their post-game interview and they lose, it's like, well, what happened out there? And they will say, oh, I have period cramps. It's awful. I couldn't concentrate. I couldn't play at my best. And it's like, you know, hopefully next time I'm at Wimbledon, I'm not on my period or
Yeah.
whatever. Guess who never has to deal with that?
Leah
Thomas. Like she never has to, and it's not just when you're on your period, it's the cycle up and down. Like you have all these
Yeah.
changes, and
Hormones.
especially, I mean, maybe swimming, like you're in a pool. Hello, you don't want to be in a pool when you're feeling.
You want to wear a
gross.
swimsuit.
No, and like as a fighter or as a golfer or any of these sports that require a lot of like focus mentally, when your hormones are all out of whack and you're feeling crazy, like you can't focus on the game like you would if you were just a man.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's just and yes, they're on hormones which will make them feel certain ways. It's just it's not you can't
But if they're post puberty, they'll never really be able to properly lower their
no,
testosterone
no.
levels.
And they'll never feel the emotional highs and lows and the pain of being a woman. But they get to have all the stuff. It's just I don't like it.
We should probably get into some chats.
Let's get
But
into
Alexa,
some
do you
chats.
want one final thought on this before we jump into some
But
chats?
it's what I say. I agree because, you know, when I'm in my period, I want to kill everybody. I'm crying for
Same.
nothing. I'm just like, And
surprised I
I
haven't,
spend
too.
like and I'm actually like in my bed for one day because I cannot wake up and I cannot do anything
Yeah.
because it's too pain.
Yeah.
And whatever you take pills, they say, oh, take pill for the pain. No, it's not working.
Yeah.
And they're bad for you. They're bad for your
Yeah.
liver. Like I had to get period cramp pills that were so strong that they were like, oh, you can't drive when you take these because they're like they're so strong. I was like,
Sounds
that's
healthy.
great. How am I supposed to go to work? And that's great for my liver. That's great for my mental health. Like that's
Sounds
your
healthy.
option.
Yeah.
Turns
It's
out
good.
it was my diet, and I fixed my diet, and it helped a lot. But they don't talk about that.
Oh.
No one tells you about that. They're just like, here's a pill that will knock you out, and you'll get arrested if you get in your car. It's great.
Oh, to be a woman, Leah Thomas, to be
Whatever.
a woman.
At
All
least,
right.
At least we're so beautiful and we smell amazing. So.
That's all that matters at the
the
end of the
perk.
day. All right, should we read some chats?
Let's read some
Now that
chats.
we're done talking about periods, Andrew Chapados is going to kill us.
Yeah. Sorry, guys.
From Georgie, thank you for your $1. The Bill Gates story is very James Bond, Hunger Games like. Yes,
It is.
these crazy villains.
And Bill Gates is one thing, but Klaus Schwab is literally a Bond villain. He's literally like, we will take over this world. And he's like, I mean, I'm wearing black leather, but you know, it's creepy. And you're right, Georgie. Sorry. It's so creepy. The world is becoming a Bond movie.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Life imitates art, eh? We have another one, $5 from
From Sojourner.
Sojourner. My husband went to the grocery store today. With the outages, it was chaos in there, but he had $10 cash on him and could get his item. We recently went to using cash whenever possible, and the advantages have been surprising.
Smart.
So smart. Like, and I also think about it in terms of, you know, panhandlers or street performers and people who rely on the generosity of others in terms of like whenever I have change and I see someone who looks like they're in need, I will give it to them because I am very, very privileged, and people have opinions on that, whether you should or not. That's fine. That's your own personal choice. I'm not going to shame anyone for not or for doing it, whatever, but that's my choice. I like to do it. But lately I've been like, I have no cash on me.
I can e-transfer
Yeah,
you.
me
I
too.
can't help you.
Yeah.
And it hurts me because it's like
Who's helping them?
Who's
Yeah.
helping them? Like, obviously they can get a job and sure, whatever, but like a lot of them are mentally ill. They're not going to get a job or they're addicted to drugs, and it's not my place to be like, well, get off of drugs. Like, if you have empathy, you like to give money to people, and you have no cash on you, it feels horrible.
Yeah, it's uncomfortable.
It's uncomfortable, and sorry, like it's a horrible feeling. So I've been trying to carry cash too.
Yeah, they should just get cell phones.
Yeah.
You can e-transfer them. I'm totally kidding. But like, is that what the world's coming to? Like, you know?
Sometimes I just like use because my phone, my card is on my phone. This is not a good thing, but I do it. But sometimes I just go and buy some food and just give it to them as much as I can.
Yeah,
That's a good alternative as well.
Yeah.
Or the government should just, like I said, give them cell phones. I'll e-transfer.
Yeah. Or they should give out those and the little Apple like tap things.
Yeah.
I'm totally
should.
kidding. But but let's make cash. Let's normalize cash. That's what we're taking away from
Yeah.
this. All right. Any
Because then
more
they can't shut you
chats?
down. I don't think there's any more chats, but we have another $5.
Oh, thank you for your
Sojourner.
$5.
That's
That's,
thank you.
So
but
nice.
you have no question. But
we
thank
can
you.
we can just chat ourselves.
is that all
What's
we
up,
have?
gals?
Is that all we have? Yeah.
think
Okay,
so.
that's it. So we scared people away with our period talk, I think.
Yeah.
Oh
That's
yeah,
good.
people always say no.
Yeah, they hate it.
But it's the
Periods are new and
reality. Why-
scary.
Yeah, it's a reality.
Why we cannot talk about these stuff? Like, I know in the past it was like
Taboo,
hiding
yeah.
and not talk about it, so taboo. But now I think it's in 2022. I have the impression that we can talk about everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's really important that everybody know about it, and especially men. Like, I know
Yeah.
that they know, but some of them, like, they don't pretty realize what we are passing through, and I think
Yeah.
it's really important.
Yeah. It's
But-
only plagued women, every woman for all of time.
Yeah.
So it's not new. It's
Thanks,
not
Eve.
unique. Yeah. Thanks,
Yeah.
Eve, for eating the apple.
Yeah.
But yeah, especially when we have to defend ourselves as women all the time, and like, why do we deserve spaces for females only? Why should male prisoners and inmates not be put with female victims and prisoners themselves, but
Yeah.
who are often victims of sexual
Domestic
abuse,
abuse,
and
yeah.
domestic abuse? Why do we have to defend these things? Well, it seems like when talking about being a female, it's always going to come back to, you know, we're not as strong as men on average. We are
Biology, yeah.
more vulnerable in multiple ways. We are often, not always, but the ones who carry children. We are prone to more illnesses because of our bodily functions. It's like we shouldn't have. It sucks that we have to explain this and defend ourselves all the time, but this is why we talk about it. So sorry, gents.
But it's a
We're never
reality.
going to be invited back to do the live stream.
And here at Rebel News, we follow the facts wherever they lead, and they are leading down our uteruses today. And we are sorry for that.
We are sorry, but it's a fact. Get
Yes.
used to it.
Yeah.
Get used to
Gal
it.
chat.
But I will say for some things, sometimes the girls are dangerous.
Yeah, especially Rebel girls.
Yeah, we are. I talk a lot of SIHIT when I'm on my period. I'm like, he's gonna get it. They're gonna get it.
Don't
And
mess
it's
with the Rebel girl.
Don't. No.
Especially not
Exactly.
Alexa. She's been shot.
Yeah. We
Look
will
at
say
her.
it wasn't a bullet though.
Yeah, but still, it
But
hurt.
she was shot and it hurt, and she's a star.
Yes.
right.
It's okay. It hurt, but we survive. When it don't kill you, you survive.
You're a survivor.
Yeah.
Well, thank you guys for tuning in to the Rebel News daily live stream, which airs every weekday at 12 p.m. Different hosts every day. Be sure
Different
to check
hosts
it out.
from different coasts. Sorry,
Yeah,
had
definitely.
to.
Be sure to sign up for email notifications so that you can be reminded every day. Again, that's at 12 p.m. Eastern Time on YouTube, Odyssey, Rumble, Getter. And please send in your chats to other people. Maybe you'll be more interested to hear what they have to say. But yeah, hopefully we'll see you guys next week.
Yay!
Yeah. Bye, Alexa.
Bye.
I just want to express condolences to the people of Japan for the assassination of Shinzo Abe. Shinzo was a great leader, a great man, and was a heck of an ally to this country. I mean, he understood freedom, he understood the threat posed by China, and he understood the importance of having a strong U.S.-Japan relationship. We in Florida are actually hosting a summit in November with the southeastern United States and with Japan. This is partially to try to increase business ties and investment opportunities, and we're so looking forward to that, but this news is certainly going to cast a pall over that, and so we are very, very sad to hear that, and the world lost a really, really great leader, and we hope that the people of Japan get through this time properly, and we will certainly be keeping them in our thoughts and prayers. I just